The time has come to show you what's inside this guy. What's going on, everybody? It's Lamar and it's MF in Research, and now I'm going to finally break open the Alpaka utility pouch and show you guys how I use it. Probably unlike anything you've seen, this is going to be my first cigar EDC. I haven't seen anything else like that, but I came up with the idea when I got tired of this happening. Trying to find stuff at the bottom of my pouch. Got tired of it, wanted it to be a little easier. Figured I'd use some of the EDC skills I have to my cigar lifestyle. Before we get into the Alpaka utility pouch, let me show you some of the runner-ups and ideas that I had before. They're not gonna work for me, but they may help you out. So first up, I just had this, just a box and some foam that you cut to shape. The reason why I didn't like that is you were locked into that. You couldn't make any changes, upgrades, additions, deletions. You were just stuck with that shape or you had to cut out new foam, and cutting out the foam is annoying. So I didn't really feel like going with that anymore. Next up is this guy. This is the Vaultec Life Pod. I really like it. It's beefy, it's waterproof. They actually make their own humidors. So I'm not looking for a humidor, and it's kind of heavy, so that's not gonna really work for me. So last up, I've had this Amazon Tech Organizer for years, and it's probably older than my kids right now, but it was here, it was available. I thought about that, but that just wasn't gonna do it either. I figured I could find a better solution to use to organize my stuff. So that's where the Alpaka utility pouch came from. So without further ado, let's break it open. Oh yeah, there was one more thing. I could even use this big guy too, but that's what I use for my cigars when I carry those in there. So I'm just gonna leave this for cigars and the utility pouch for the accessories. So now let's get into it. Let's start from the outside and work our way inside. So I've got the Dism lighter inside. This is the first thing I have in here. I love this little lighter. It's designed to work upside down, but I never use it that way. Plus I like the tall flame. I have the gaskets to something else you'll see later. That's also for something later. I have a few of these guys in there. If you remember my first video, or if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I show some of these guys. With water, they open up and they're a nice little towel. They clean up spills, anything that gets anywhere, clean out the ashtray, clean out anything that gets a cigar ash on it. So these are perfect. I've got, sometimes I like a little glass of wine. So this is my little wine opener that I use. It kind of unscrews like that and then sits in here like this. And then you open your wine that way. Let's see, you got anything else in there? I don't think so. Nah. All right, let's go to the back. So on the back, I've just got this paracord carabiner clip on there. I can put it in a bag and yank it out if I need to, and it's easy to find. And I can just hang this somewhere if I'm like sitting outside or something like that. So that's what I put this on here for. This is actually a little handle right here. You can kind of slip your hand in there like that. And this is right here on this hook and this hook. That's where the sling connects, but I'm not gonna use the sling like I said. I actually don't even know where the strap is anymore, but that's okay. They do sell one that you can use that's a little beefier. If you were gonna use it as a sling, I'd recommend getting that one instead and not using the standard one because it's a better strap. But for me, for my needs, it's either gonna sit on a table, it's gonna sit on the desk, or it's gonna sit outside, or I'm gonna put it in a bag. I don't need that. I also forgot to mention that there's waterproof zippers on the outside, which is perfect. And back here, I've just got a little bag with the Boveda pouch in it. In case I go to the cigar lounge, I can put my cigars in there and don't have to worry about them getting messed up. So that's what that's for. And back with it, I've got a cigar rest too. I think that fell out while I was pulling everything out, but that's also what I have. So I'll use that. I need to replace that. It came in a pack of 3. That's my last one, but it's okay. So let's move some of this stuff out the way. Boom, boom. And now let's open it up. So on the back here, this is for any labels that I want to keep. It's just another little Ziploc bag, little tiny bag. This right here is going to be a flashlight. The only purpose for this flashlight It's usually on the weekends when I'm having a cigar. Everybody in the house is asleep. My wife is asleep. So this is how I find my way around the house without bumping into anything. That's all I use this for. Perfect little flashlight. I think it's a Lumitop EDC. Nothing fancy, just a battery powered flashlight. It sits in here and I just use it for that. And notice back there, it's got that orange, and that's pretty cool too. I like that. So here they've got 3 segmented pockets. And this is probably the first or second, if you count the sling strap, con with this thing that I think. So if you notice these seams right here, that's actually where it stops, the seam. But the pockets actually go further down. I wish they would have committed one way or the other, taken the seam all the way down or just leave it all the way open, because I'll show you why. With one of the things, I have a slight problem. Your mileage may vary depending on what you put in here, but this is my issue. So first off, I've got this little guy in here. I found this little Kershaw knife online. It's perfect for little things. Sometimes I cut a cigar with that. It's a perfect little knife. Nothing fancy, nothing special. It does the job. And see, I'm already having trouble with the thing I'm trying to pull out right now. So I'll get the next thing. So we've got just a bottle opener, some ballast point. If I want to have a Topo Chico or a beer or something like that, I'll use this guy to open it. And then over here, I've got my Zippo that I can't get out. I've got my Zippo with the butane insert. Pops in, pops out, lights up just fine. And now let's try to get this last thing out again. So what I also need is this guy. It's just one of those watch tools that you use to change your bands out. I actually use it to bleed my lighter. So it fits right in there, right perfect, just to get that excess butane out when I need to bleed my lighter or something like that. But this always gets stuck down at the bottom. This is actually the reason for the whole kit in the first place. So it's always a problem. So now let's go to the middle. This is probably my other issue. This loop right here is huge. I could put a Sharpie there, but I don't want to. This pin fits if I clip it on there a little bit, but it's a little big for the loop. So you see all that play that it has. So that's not good, but it's all zipped up, so it's usually fine. Then I've got a straight cut or a V cut. Last up, I've got my field notes. I don't think I even have anything in this one yet. I just put this one back in here. The one that was in here before is full, so going with this one. So what happens is a lot of times I sit on cigar Zooms, and in those Zooms they recommend stuff to try for the future. And so in there I write all these down to try later or to add to my list if I want to. And last, so one thing I'll show you, which is pretty cool. See, the pin just fell out. But one thing that's pretty cool, and you can't really see it, but right in there, let me see if I can get that flashlight and show you. Let's see if we can get in there. So if you look closely, you can see that little loop there. Now that is probably the true pin loop, and this works perfectly in there. This right here is the Perfect Cigar tool, I think it's called. I'll put the link in the description. I'll put the name of it in the description. And what it does is if your draw is tight, it's got little barbs on the end, and you just screw it in. This right here is like 30 bucks, but it is worth it. But it has saved me plenty of times on cigars that have draws that are tight. If you are into cigars, I recommend one of these to you. You won't use it every time, but the times that you use it, you will appreciate it. The other thing that I'd say I'd like to bring out is I wish that some more of this was a little of the high vis, kind of like in there or back there. That would have been cool, just like remember the Surge Tech pouch that I looked at last week? That would have been cool, but other than that, it's really awesome. I really love how it works. It's got a perfect shape, perfect profile. Don't really have any problems with it. Now let's go back up top. So with that, that's the Alpaka utility pouch, my cigar EDC. Let me know what you think. I'm always open to suggestions. Anything you think I should add, anything you think I should change, any recommendations are greatly appreciated. Like I always say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. With that, check out some of my other videos, looking at some of my other ideas. I'm gonna keep going. It's been fun. Take it easy.